Um, so let's start. Um, okay. Uh, um, Pete, let's talk about your belief real quick because
Okay, I
you've
wrote a
got a
new one. It's a little long-winded, but it is kind of like what I'm trying to get at. Maybe you can help me simplify it, but here we go. It's my people's heads on the line. It's up to me to make this venture profitable for Natus Green Streak. I need to be the gel that binds this party together.
okay.
Mm.
Pick one of those, or
Well,
find a way to combine them because I know
yeah.
what you're going for. I know you're really
hmm
trying to explain the whole thing, but
hmm
as far as I understand how beliefs in this game work, it's got to be a really clear statement, a belief about yourself or the world that can be
hmm
said in one or two sentences, not with no real exposition, just something very strong that is will be very clear if you're working towards it or not in the game.
Can I
hmm
jump in?
Sure.
To me, it sounded like there were sort of two different things that you were aiming for in what you just read to us. One was I'm kind of the glue that keeps this party together, and that's a really cool thing if that's what you want to be, and we'll know if you're doing that or not. And another is I'm the money maker, or something like I'm the money maker that because you're planning to bring money back to free your comrades. Um,
hmm
and if you're the moneymaker, that's that's going to look different in the game than being the glue that keeps our party together.
And
And
hmm
and
either would be
also,
cool.
you were working with that you were going to be the liberator of your fellow thralls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
That's been constant throughout.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
hmm
and it wasn't really clear how it was, in the way that it was written in past sessions.
hmm
But if you still want to do that, it could be as focused as something like I am the liberator or something like that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
Um,
yeah. I'll
I
work
like that.
on I'll work on simplifying it further. Yeah. Um,
so if you still believe that, but like Chuck said, because it's up to me to make the venture profitable for Native Green Streak. Chuck was saying,
Mhm.
like I'm the money maker, or like, um,
mhm.
you know, it could even, I mean, of course you can leave Native Green Streak in there, but like, if you can
Mhm.
really make it just really strongly about what you're doing,
What?
how you believe yourself to be operating, even if it's
Okay.
something that's not true, or something that's ostentatious, or something that's a complete delusion. um
hmm
you know uh see if you can say it in a punchy sentence.
Okay.
um yeah.
What are you feeling?
Okay.
It?
Well, it really is about like saving my fellow thralls. Like when I boil it all down to like what's the core thing that is like defining who I currently am,
I love it.
that it's really like I'm doing all this shit to, save the heads of my people.
Yeah, so if you say something like I will be the one to save all my fellow thralls,
hmm
that's kind of like a goal, and that's something that is kind of happening external to the adventure, to the game.
So this
And
is about
it's
identity, really.
yeah, so it's like,
I am. I am.
I,
Start
I
with I
am.
am.
Yep.
hmm
I
Okay,
am.
and what is it about you? What is it about Nullsworth that makes him feel like he is like what's his quality as a character that that he believes is a reason why he's the best one to free his people. How did you get to this position that you're have this trust in you that you can go out and you're.
It's really about the relationships built over time, being sort of like I said, like the big brother of the sort of the family of thralls. So it's really about responsibility that's been thrust upon him, and that he kind of like embodies that responsibility now.
Does that mean that you want to be our big brother now?
We're your
No,
new lost family?
I think that this is just in the momentary like gameplay in the last session that maybe that came up, but I don't think that the dynamic, like you guys are in a higher position of power and status than he is,
Mm,
so I don't think that's a thing that would be happening, at least, you
right.
know,
Not yet.
maybe a couple of years down the road or
Right.
something, but you know,
Something like,
but
yeah, I am. How about I am the one responsible for.
yeah, how about just I am my brother's keeper? You know what
Yeah,
I mean when it comes to like, you know,
That's really good.
simplicity.
that's
I
really
think
Okay.
that's
good.
great. That is
That's
great.
Okay.
really good because it
Mm.
applies to your family, but now it can apply now to the people that you're with now.
Yeah, when
You
you're
know,
Sure,
you
trying
that
to
you
makes
make
feel like,
sense.
okay, well,
generations
I've
of
got to step
stuff.
up now to do something for
Yeah.
these people now. Yeah,
Mm.
that's great.
I mean, in a
And then the
situation like that, I can just see with the tension that Ilondil just caused
hmm
in the room, camp is going
hmm
to be pretty icy,
hmm
and you'll see like two fact like both Cadigan and Ilondil like at either end of the camp, not working together, not talking together, and that's where your character shines, right? I
Uh-huh.
love it.
yeah.
Cool.
All
Awesome.
right,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
that
very cool.
we I think we finally, after several sessions, resolved that, and now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mm.
and even though we didn't have it completely tight, I
Mhm.
think we knew what you were going for, So,
Mm.
I was totally ready to reward you for, even though it wasn't worded, I think we knew the spirit of it. But
Mm.
now we've really got it like chiseled down. So yeah,
I
that's good.
mean, belief writing in Burning Wheel and Torchbearer, it's A level D&D. Like writing a
Mm.
good belief is like, you're now learning how to role play the game and embody a character because you got to write it down. So
Mm.
Yeah,
it takes
and it
time.
and it and it directly ties into a lot of a lot of things about how the game works. The game itself works.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
More important. So yeah, yeah,
Well,
and I just
thanks for
want
your
to,
patience, guys.
yeah, no problem. I just want to reiterate, just making sure that we let each other talk and trying not to speak over each other. Um, just because sometimes it's easy to get a great idea and start talking when someone isn't done with theirs. So let's just try to do that. And yeah, I think we can start from there. Chucky.
Yeah, just a mechanical question. So we all got hungry and thirsty at the very end of last session, and I don't know whether it would have been a good idea for us to quickly eat something prior to the end of the session or not. I just was I always
Yeah.
that kind of strategic thing I'm not very good at. Um, Pete, do you have any conditions other than hungry and thirsty right now?
You know, I don't want to push back unnecessarily, but I just listened to the whole last session, and like
Okay, great.
we ate during the interrogation and lit a torch, and then I don't think there was four actions after that. Like I don't think we finished a grind cycle right
Oh,
after eating.
Hmm.
Like you guys ate, we
It was,
ate.
yeah, I listened to it because it was just before your roll on Nullsworth, right?
oh.
Just
Hmm
before your manipulator, we had the apple. Elondil and Nullsworth ate an apple,
That
Mhm.
Yeah.
was that was hungry and
clearing, yeah,
but
clearing hungry and thirsty. Yeah.
but that was hungry and thirsty. Oh, I don't think that was from the grind though. I think that was from um
Oh,
as
Mm,
a condition from a roll
from the
um
magic.
gosh.
from a
Yeah, yeah.
failure.
Nice.
I think that's what that was. So now, so
Got.
the fourth action here with that was between Cadigan and Ellendale.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
that's what's bringing everyone to hungry and thirsty now.
Right. Yeah,
Mhm.
we did actually have four actions. If you look at the Torchbearer aid sheet, it shows the things that we had.
Okay,
Um,
so I'll check off. Go
So,
ahead.
but to answer Chuck's question, um, yeah, going into camp, assuming that's what you guys are going to be doing, because we've
Yeah.
been talking about it for 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, the reason that the cooking skill is awesome is because you can take a ration and make it into meals for everybody.
Right.
But it took me a while to think of like, well, if you're constantly maintaining it, then why do you have to do that? But it's like you can kind of hang on to Hungry and Thirsty, but you got to play it right within the grind cycle.
Got it.
And kind of
Got
be
it.
careful to not mess up and possibly get more conditions on top of that.
Right. But strategically, going into camp hungry, not a bad thing, because
It's not a
the
bad
cooking.
thing.
Good. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
And
you so
especially
much.
when there's the instinct, someone has an instinct to cook. I'm not sure if oh yeah, we can talk about instincts too, because this is
Yeah, we're
something
going
that
into camp.
yeah. Big shout out to Carhartt Goth Shane King out there for giving me a lot of tips on running camp and
I know you're
uh
watching.
and talking about yeah, talking about different instincts, and that camp instincts are really, really great thing. And that poultices are not as valuable as they could seem. So if Chuck wanted to change, maybe make his instinct, when I get to camp, I purify burden, because that's
Yeah.
hard to do. I mean, you can do it with a check, but you're probably going to be using a check for something else.
Right.
And purifying in camp or in town is possible, but
Yeah.
so
No, I thought that was a great suggestion. I made that change actually in advance of today's section.
cool. And also the Nullsworth's instinct of always try to optimize resources. If you still want to have an instinct like that, I think we need to focus it a little bit more to like what you actually want to, what you're actually trying to do with it. Because the verb here is optimize, and like, like what skill are you going to be doing in that? So like what do you picture Nullsworth's his instinct to be? Like, what do you picture him doing? Aside from skills, just like what do you picture him doing?
I picture him keeping a mental note of what what people are carrying, what we've consumed, what we're going to need to like gather. Like I'm a scavenger as well, right? So it's like it's really about being sort of like OCD about our equipment and our consumption.
Okay.
It's so halfling. It's perfect.
Yeah. So how do you picture that playing out on the road? Because that's like a role-playing thing, and that's also like a player like technical thing. Getting a free roll is very valuable in this game. So are you thinking that you'd be replenishing people's resources? Topping things off. If we need torches, I'm going to look for torch stuff. If we're low on food, I'm going to look for mushrooms or whatever. Like, how do you picture that? Also, something like this could be, looping it back into the camp instincts. Something with survivalist, for you to make sure that the campsite is safe and well, well equipped. So that's a very valuable thing. And if you're the cook, I can picture you just yearning to find the nice coziest spot to set up.
And that's
Unless you go ahead.
And the previous iteration of my instinct kind of was a little bit more camp centric. And I think we started tweaking things based off of what each other were doing, but yeah, for me, it was really about like keeping a close eye on equipment and food resources, and finding ways to not be wasteful and to like, that was the idea.
Yeah, so I think that is just kind of fulfilled in your personality, like you can, you can talk about that and you can act on stuff like that. Unless, I mean, because like as far as using a skill to do that kind of thing, there isn't really
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's specifically looking for looking for, resources. Um,
Mm-hmm.
am I making sense? Does that make sense?
I'm sort of halfway getting you. I feel like you're trying to say like, no, this is too broad, or you're saying like this isn't focused on a specific thing. Is that what you're saying?
Kinda, yeah.
Hmm.
What's the
If
wording of it, Pete?
Always try to optimize resources.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that kind of thing doesn't really come down to a skill test. I
Hmm.
think I think that's what I mean.
So it's
Um,
I
Always
need to
take
like,
inventory. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, what would you roll for that? Like, and when would that instinct pop up? And what would
mhm,
what would the
Well,
role be?
Eric, like, for example, when I go camping with my family, we go canoe camping, like, I'm always checking, you know, our gear situation, what food we ate. Like, I literally do that, right?
Hmm.
Make sure that things don't get lost, like the chargers are here and this and that. I think that's the kind of job you're describing, right? Like, it's just instinctually you're sitting there doing that, even if like you might even go to that before when you're setting up camp and there is like clanking of chains in the other hall from the skeleton. You're like, oh yeah, but we just have to go through this checklist, right?
mm.
Yeah,
But
and I
then
think
like Eric was, go ahead.
yeah, I think the problem is that making sure that we haven't lost track of any of our gear is actually weirdly one of the things that this game doesn't model in real life, right? In real life, shit does go missing, and in this game, if you've got it written down on your inventory, you've got it on your inventory.
Oh, I get it. I
So
Mm,
in the game, what's a useful thing for him to be able to do? What's a situation where
functionally as the game.
Yeah.
ordinarily the way the instincts worked is ordinarily you'd have to spend either you'd have to spend a check if you were in camp, or if you were out in adventure mode, you'd have to use a roll that would count toward you in the grind. And the instinct lets you roll for free without advancing the grind or without spending a check.
Oh,
So what's a thing that you want to be able to do without having to kind of pay for it? That's what the instinct does.
okay, how about like always uh always choose campsite based on like nearby food and water?
Be on the lookout for a
Okay,
good place to camp. I think that's great.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yep. Or like, one of my, my old character that when I was a Torchbearer player, um, with Shane. Shane was the GM,
mm-hmm.
best GM I've ever played with.
Cool.
Um, uh, yeah, his camp instinct was having it was a survive. It ended up being a survivalist role. It's like when we make camp, I make sure I check the boundaries when we make camp. And it was basically just to make sure we had a good, safe, well accounted for camp. Um,
Hmm.
and that kind of sounds like that's what you're doing, and you're coloring it. The way that you're coloring it is through, okay, making sure that we've got the right equipment, like making sure everybody's together, making sure, no one's got holes in their pack, and, that kind of
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm. But
Because
yeah,
they get,
but mechanically it can be um, find a safe and resourceful camp. Like,
yeah,
mm,
yep, yeah,
Right.
something like that.
mm,
Yeah, because normally
okay.
you'd have to spend is that right? Normally you have to spend a test to roll survivalist to improve camp, but this way you get one for free. Or
Yes,
normally you don't normally have to spend a check to improve your camp, but this way you get one
right.
for free.
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
and you can write it like, how you picked, how you want the perfect camp to go.
Mhm.
I always make camp super cozy, you know,
Nice.
or whatever it is. And also, by saying all this, I don't want to take away what you picture your instinct to be doing. I just want to make sure that you know, that it can be useful.
Sure.
And this
And then it
this is
makes
definitely
sense.
something that's useful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be useful, but not like always possibly arguably useful. It's sort of in the middle. It's more specific and
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Because
Torchbearer feels more explicitly rulesy and mechanical than
Yeah.
Burning Wheel. You know, Burning Wheel's more story game, I feel.
Mm.
This one's like there's a skill, like a different kind, you know, which is interesting.
Yeah.
but and I'll say it again, it still is a story game
Yeah.
because it's got the bits. You know, it's got that's
Yeah.
the core of the game.
Well, I was playing story game the whole like end of the session last time.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it is, and I don't want anyone to forget that you know that it is a character driven thing. It's not like D&D where you get experience points for killing something or overcoming the you know the
The big
challenge
one.
or whatever it is. You know, and you spend those points to get better and stronger to kill bigger things to you know et cetera et cetera. This is you if you're playing your character and you're going after your goals, it doesn't matter what I'm throwing at you and it doesn't matter what you kill or don't kill or succeed on. If you're doing your character, you get rewarded, and that's the core of the game. It just happens to be in the context of you know a grimy, crunchy dungeon crawl kind of game, you
Yeah.
know,
So
and
cool.
that's what's it's easy to overlook that. So yeah, yeah,
All right.
cool. So I
Can we
think we're
go? Can we go over goals? If we're okay with that instinct.
absolutely. Oh wait, well let's do the beginning of session,
Okay.
Yes.
Oh
and we'll
yeah.
go through the different steps, and we'll
Great.
talk about goals and etc. So who wants to do the prologue because you can
Me.
alleviate hungry, thirsty, angry, afraid, or exhausted in excuse me in that order.
I
I hope
prepped
Pete do
a
it.
whole thing.
And
Oh,
Pete, you're do you have the only condition you have right now is hungry and thirsty, or do you have any others?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it might be a waste. We might be able to
No,
save
no.
someone else. Can I do it on someone's behalf?
But if
No,
everybody
I'm
has
not.
hungry and
let's not
if I,
metagame this thing.
Not
I think it's
metagaming it.
totally
The only
cool.
thing I was going to
right,
say is if you had a major condition, I'd advise you to
Mm,
eat something first so that then you could get rid of the more significant condition. I really want you to
gotcha.
do this. Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So previously on Descent into Darkness, with the sarcophagus now open and the dust settled, the party discovered the haggard body of a black-haired man lying next to a mummified corpse.
Did you write this out?
Yes.
All right, I'll let it go. Just go
You're not
for it.
supposed to do that, huh?
Well, I mean, supposed to, I
Give
don't
him
know.
a fucking fate point for
Yeah.
that, man. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
do it. Go for it.
Elendil,
Go for it, Pete.
Elendil gives the body a shape. It becomes clear the man is merely playing dead. In his anger, Elendil yanks him from the sarcophagus and threatens him with his sword. Nullsworth comments that it might help to light up the room with the body as a light source, which causes him to drop the charade. The man claimed he had ventured into the tomb to find the boy and vaguely claims it was too late. An apparition pulled the boy through the northwest corner of the room. Looking to the corner, details of the tomb's decor become more clear. Not only are the skulls on display, but the very geometry of the room is formed with bones.
Mm.
Meanwhile, Skooky has lost touch with reality, pulled by a mysterious, compelling force, and beguiled by what seemed to be a spectral illusion. Sister Cadigan jumped to the rescue in an attempt to wrangle Skooky back into the room, only to be nearly mesmerized herself. Elendil's anger and frustration begins to boil over. As the party started to lose its grip and its focus, Nullsworth realized he needed to step to the plate and guide the party back to its goal.
Nice.
Picking up on Elendil's anger, Nullsworth decided to harness it as an interrogation technique. Using his manipulation skills, He manufactures a good cop, bad cop scenario. The man played coy and claimed he climbed into the sarcophagus to hide from unknown dangers. Upon being threatened further, he offered a silver torque in exchange for his release. In a fit of rage, Elendil gut punches the prisoner. The man, in his agony, declares, "I knew this was a bad idea. I was promised so much if I brought the boy down here, but it hadn't turned out that way. Lord Hathor Vash took the boy and left me to walk alone for my own crime." Almost done. Our prisoner nervously eyes the silver torque and repeats that what you're looking for is in the northwest corner. Elendil's patience draws thin. As it becomes clear that Elendil is making a move to execute the prisoner, Sister Cadigan intervenes with her shield. She wants the man brought to justice properly. A scuffle breaks out, and after a struggle, Elendil has his way. He pierced the man's chest, spraying blood across his own face. Through the blood, only his wide, rage-filled eyes remain visible. Elendil coldly declares the matter concluded. It's time for camp.
Well
And let's-
done, Pete. That was awesome.
One thing
Thanks.
that I will fill in at the end of
Mhm.
that is that inside Elendil's mind, heard echoing laughter.
That's right.
Yeah. Eric, I wanted to pick up on something that I heard in the video last time, and I'm not sure. Did you say Hathor Vash is a she or a he?
I can't remember. I don't remember what I said.
Mm-hmm.
In
I
the
had the
event,
impression it was a he the whole time, and then you said she when the hapless Trent Reznor peasant was like blubbering at me.
yeah. I mean, I can't remember what I did it. How what gender I gave
Uh-huh.
the character. In the adventure, it's a she, so we can go she.
Okay.
I may
So
have swapped it to he by accident or something, but
right.
yeah.
So I hear like a female laughter in my mind, like oh.
It's deep. I guess there might be when you think about it, it could be feminine, but yeah, but it's just a deep sort of haunting, echoing laughter.
Okay, I get it. More rasp. Yeah,
Kinda, yeah,
and like Galadriel-esque. Cool.
right.
So that's like really palpable in my mind at that moment, like I'm not like so it's feasible that I grab my face and be like, "Ugh, ugh," like get down on my knees, get
Yeah.
out, get out.
Would you
Right?
be doing that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
you react that way? Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
God,
Yeah.
she laughs in my mind. And I look up at Kat again, like, God, get it out of me.
But wait, we're not starting the session.
Oh,
I think we always forget, like right after the prologue, everyone's ready to jump in.
oh yeah.
Mm,
So
Because it's like a real
Nullsworth,
hype moment, man.
yeah.
mm.
Nullsworth, you can alleviate hungry and thirsty.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I described the obstacles. There's the dead body of a villager in a pool of its own blood on the floor. This dusty floor where there's also spilled ink and torn paper from Skookie's mad scrawlings. Obstacles. There in the distance, you can still hear the knocking around of those skeleton guys. And right now, I'd say your obstacles are the ill humors that are like building up in your party. Elendil is now seems like he's going mad. Cadigan and he just had a scuffle. They had a philosophical fight. where there was a physical victor.
Yeah.
And Nullsworth is just kind of, had a lot of success with a couple different things and is now just got to keep the shit going. So now we can set goals.
Okay.
Mm.
So it's our expectation that we're gonna camp will not take the entire session. We'll do camp fairly quickly, and then we'll be able to do something inside the dungeon.
Yeah. So don't make I would suggest against making camp
Camp
the
goals.
goal.
Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah.
That's silly. Okay, that makes sense.
Is everyone not talking, or is there someone having an
I'm
audio
writing my
problem?
goal.
I know.
I
I
was
was
thinking.
thinking the same thing. I was like, whoa.
So yeah, you've reminded me that there was this great conflict between Cadigan and Elendil, and now Elendil has this some kind of haunting happening inside of him. Uh, uh, so a goal like I will make Elendil see the error of his ways feels thematically meaningful and right. I also, though, don't have any idea what that would look like in the game, so I'm hesitant to write that down.
Well, it could be you're in the role playing, you could be chiding him or giving him,
Sure, of
like
course.
reading, reciting scriptures or something, or
Sure.
challenging him again,
Right.
It's just, I mean, of course, it's not going to accomplish anything for your mission, but that doesn't matter, if that's important to you, then, you can make it a point to impose that on them. You can definitely do that. The only thing is you have to go after it.
Right. I hear you. All right. How do you feel about that, Sanj? Are you up for me
Yeah,
badgering you?
it kind of ties into mine
Okay.
because my goal is I will get it together and rescue the child from the knave's greed. So I will get it together.
Nice.
I'm gonna calm myself down and all that.
Good. All right.
Okay. Pete.
I will get everyone's head back in the game and regroup the party.
So basically, we're all like, yeah, things are falling apart. Let's get our shit together. Well, the sad thing is Skooky is the worst of us, right? In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's literally fucked.
He's literally fucked. I was thinking about this today. If he ended up missing the session, which he's missing at least this part, he will still have a check for whenever he, ends up using it. So camp can happen again at some point. Of course, you got to go through the whole camp procedure and stuff, which can be risky. But he doesn't lose his check or anything. If you guys do camp, he still has his for whenever he can use it. So he's missing out on this opportunity to do it to camp and try to recover with everybody here, but he's not losing his resource to do it
I
later.
think there's also something else that you get if maybe it's a test or something when you miss a session, but I can't remember what it is. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, you do get a free. You get a free. You can log a test on one of your skills.
Test.
Yep.
All right. Great.
All right. So change beliefs or instincts. We already worked on that.
You want
The
us
leader.
to read our? Do you want us to read our change beliefs and instincts and go through really quickly?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And even if they're the same, let's hear them
Great.
again.
All right. So Sister Cadigan, her belief is that I am the church. Her goal, I will make Elendil see the error of his ways. No, I will make Elendil do penance.
Ooh.
I think that's more concrete.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will make Elendil
Ooh.
do penance.
That's gonna lead to some interesting role play because I have some
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah. And then
Cool.
instinct, I always purify my burden during camp.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have songs will be sung of my deeds as my belief. My goal is I'll get it together and rescue the child from the knave's greed. And instinct is be vigilant in camp, dangers abound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So what does that
uh,
mean?
That means I'm gonna like scout. I'll take first watch. I'll push myself.
Watch is, well, I mean, you can sort of figuratively take watch. Watch is actually a mechanical thing in this system. If you take watch, you can't use your checks. Like you're kind of like sitting out the recovery and the testing and stuff. So you can, so you can say like I take the first watch. You can say that figuratively. But if you really want to do that, if you really, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that's a separate mechanical thing. It's just taking watch is a separate thing.
I mean, I was trying to play to that thing to get a free check to take watch, like to scout. Like I don't want to word it in such a meta-gamey way. I want to like embody the character the way I see him, be vigilant in camp, dangers abound.
Sure, but
And that just means like he's always like fucking walking the perimeter, listening down this corridor, doesn't sleep well, is always like nervous.
right, sure, but instinct is a very metagamey thing.
So but that's the metagame function of it. Always take first watch.
Okay.
Like always scout first or whatever.
Okay.
But
So,
doesn't that mean mechanically though that you never rest?
well,
one watch can't be the whole what's the time period
okay,
watch?
I'll read it. I'll read from the book. Okay.
Mhm.
Setting watch. Adventurers may set a watch when making camp. To do so, one or more characters must volunteer. Setting watch grants +1 to the camp events roll, regardless of how many watchers there are. If more than one character is on a watch, the others may help the test to avert disaster. Characters not on a
Nice.
watch may not help. So avert disaster is a specific thing that can happen.
Good.
Characters
Yeah.
on watch may not.
I wanted to get that +1 on the camp events roll, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what Eric's saying is to get that, you don't have to make that your instinct. You can just, when it comes time, just say, hey,
Just do
I'm
it.
taking watch. So
Because an instinct grants a test. An instinct doesn't grant a bonus from mechanical knickknack from a process. I guess that's also what I'm saying too. You don't roll.
Oh,
Characters
you know
on.
what? I'm an armorer.
there you
So
go.
I should do like an instinct to check our armor.
Does anybody's armor damaged?
Nope.
Okay.
But so it's not useful now, but like, or I do I have cooking? Nope. I have
That's me.
survival. I have survivalist. How do you use survival?
Can you use survivalist in a useful way during camp? Eric?
Yeah, well, we were gonna have. I mean, Pete's instinct was to use survivalist to make sure that the camp is set up in a nice spot.
Oh yeah.
Well, if they both do that, then they can help one another. That's a thing that could happen.
I
It's
mean,
true.
but we like how do I what's the like, the instinct I desire is something about being cautious and perceptive. The original one was something about always assess in the dark. Remember something like that? And I took it
Yeah.
out and kept in that theme about camping and being cautious and perceiving and making sure danger doesn't sneak up on us.
Well, Pete, do
So
you have cook, Pete?
Yes. I
So I
have a
mean,
high level cook.
one option would be for you to use cook as your instinct, always cook during camp, and then leave it to Sanj to use survivalist to improve our camp.
or find the right place. And then once, hey, I found this patch of mushrooms because I'm the ranger and I know how to range. Found this patch of mushrooms. What do you think, Nullsworth? Oh, I can make a beautiful porridge.
I feel like I already have that covered though. You know what I mean? It's like if that's already covered in my instincts, it's like I feel like making it redundant, like
Yeah.
it doesn't help the party like with another thing that could potentially.
Does hunt work? Does hunt work in camp? Like,
Sure, you could hunt during camp. You could always go out hunting, and that would
okay.
that would be great. That would be super useful. Why don't you do that?
Yeah, that suits my character a lot. Small.
Well,
Does that make sense to you, Eric? If he hunts as an instinct?
yeah, but can you really hunt in camp?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can get a mouse or a squirrel. I can
Sure, why not?
or a curious squirrel.
I guess the terrain has to be amenable to it.
Yeah.
Rats. I don't need to hunt for elk.
Well, what if he sets
And
traps for rabbits or something
yeah,
during camp?
mice, mouse, rats in a freaking dungeon.
Sure.
Okay, cool. That's what I will hunt for small game in camp.
There you go.
Okie dokie. Pete,
Yes.
your BGIs.
Oh, okay. So belief, I am my brother's keeper. We figured that one out. Goal, I will get everyone's head back in the game and regroup the party. And instinct, always find the most defensible, resource-rich camp available.
Cool. Nice.
Okay, so that's everybody, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Hold on one sec.
Last spoonful of chili. How do you like my elf ears, guys?
I was going
They're
to comment
very,
earlier.
very nice.
For a second, I wasn't sure was it real.
I know, eh? Pretty good.
Sanj, you
Yeah,
mentioned, scrounging up mushrooms or shit like that, right?
yeah.
Do you have scavenger?
No.
Scavenger allows you to look around for forage,
Mm-hmm. Can I
which
learn it?
what's that?
Can
Of
I learn
course.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course you
Cool.
can.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that makes more sense
Okay.
to what you're thinking. I mean, unless you want to go out and uh, hunting small game is really going to be something that is going to get a lot more use in the wilderness and stuff like that. I mean, do you picture Elendil doing that, or do you picture him doing what you just said? Was like, hey, I found these mushrooms. Can you put them in the you know?
Yeah. It's just I have no skill in it, so I kind of want to use hunter, but I'll save that for outdoors. I will. Yeah. Or can I say both? I will like set small traps and
Or
uh,
you can say I will. I always look around for
I'll gather
food.
sustenance.
Yeah, yep, around in around camp. So that leaves the skill open. Yeah, that works. All right. All right,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, sometimes things take time to drill down into, but I think we got it.
Mm.
All right, so who's the leader? Who's the party leader?
Ellsworth is shaping out to be
Who
leader.
who was the party leader last time? I think
Uh,
Nelsworth.
Ellsworth.
Ellsworth. I see. And
I
before that, it was Cadigan. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So,
I kind of imagine that, like, with all of this drama just playing out and everyone's
mhm.
sort of out of their minds, that like until we get to camp, probably Nullsworth is gonna, land the plane,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Sounds
That's how
good.
I feel. I'm
Sounds
too.
good.
and
I'm not good. Yeah, I'm a mess.
Okay.
mm, and then when we've kind of gotten our heads about us, I had imagined someone a little more high status and powerful would kind of take over.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
Sounds
great.
good.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate stuff about the leader. The leader, leads the party, kind of makes decisions if there's no one's really coming up with a clear idea. But they're also they kind of help pass the spotlight around to other players and the other characters to make sure that they're that the full team is kind of it's almost like a co-GM spotlight thing. So that's
Hmm.
something else that you can do as leader.
Hmm.
Um, it's another thing, another way to make sure that the spotlight gets moved around amongst everybody.
Gotcha.
There's no if anyone wants to work on the map,
I'll do map.
since Skookie is, I'm not sure if two people putting their maps together works for a map for a cartography test, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I don't know if
Um,
you've read like in the Substack that Luke is doing writing. They wrote there's two things about mapper, like being a mapper in the Caves of Chaos, like keep on the Borderlands. In BX, like I think it's BX or maybe Move, like old school D&D. And it was so cool because it literally at one point when some character got like teleported from, by setting off a trap, he got teleported in the darkness without a torch, like so far away. He had the map and he used the map like to guide his player back. And it was
oh,
so
cool.
cool that it worked, I love
Yeah,
that.
that's wicked.
I've never had that happen to me. So cool. I'm happy to do this.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So we've got so we can start. So we've got Elendil uh kind of falling to his knees, you know,
Yeah.
shaking, holding his head, whipping his mohawk around, get out of my head, this and that. And then we've got Sister Cadigan, I'm presuming, kind of surling around a little bit, licking her wounds and just sort of waiting for the next steps here. Oh, you're also holding Skookie,
Yes.
Yeah.
because he's tied up.
Oh my God.
Right.
So
Right.
wow. So
That's
I
right.
think yeah, Nullsworth, you could see this like from where you are. I'm down and I staring at Cadigan and it's like, I'm doomed. She mocks me in my mind. Help.
You are not doomed, but you must do penance to remove this darkness that you have caused down here. Let us let us uh, let us depart this accursed tomb, this once sacred, purified place, and go to the light above, where we can camp and lick our wounds.
Um, yes, let's. No. But but the voice in my head will not stop unless we stop it. There, look, and I point into that northwest corner. That the child is there. Hathor
What,
Vash is there.
what do you mean to say? The child is there, and what do we see over in that corner?
It's that corner where, how I talked about like the architecture, like the wall decor is skulls, but also like bones and ribs and different geometric patterns. It's basically just it's just a section of that. It's just it's just the corner.
It's just
Okay.
shot, but the prisoner, well, not the prisoner, but the kidnapper, the peasant that I killed, he was saying, he pointed to that area, and he said, that's the benefit of having YouTube to watch your episodes. It was pointing to that area and saying that she took him, he brought the child there, and it's through there. So I'm like, we're so close.
Okay. Great.
Sanj, let me
Yeah.
ask a question real quick. Where is the silver torque that you took from the guy?
It's like I'm holding it.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I'm not, because I was doing this. So it clattered to the ground. Boom.
Is a torque? Is it a kind of crown? Is it TOQUE toque or torque?
Torque,
Oh.
TORQ. It's like a neck ring kind of thing.
It's like
Got
a
it.
neck choker with two balls, like right there.
Got it.
The Scythians had those.
So Cadigan is going to pick up the torque and look at it, and she wonders whether it has some. It looks like it's very old. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
And she
Not
wonders
you
to
know
her,
not of like an ancient style.
right. She wonders to herself what its significance might be, and whether it might be good to think of it in terms of uh, theology or on her knowledge of history. But she also knows she's exhausted and more than a little afraid in this dark space.
Okay,
Let's bring
so
this upstairs. We can't do this now. We need to
so
go to a place of peace. Yes.
Sanj, the laughing starts to die down in your head. And Cadigan, you're examining it, and you're sort of like you start to feel your hands. You, you you're looking at the torque, but you're also seeing your hands, and you get sort of like flashes back and forth of your fingers like long and not desiccated, but like emaciated, like elongated fingers, and then you see your normal hands again, and you start to feel sort of like up the back of your neck, kind of like the hair, like standing on end, and just this like very slow, subtle laughter, but also like superimposed with sort of like a chanting that sounds like your own sort of like religious chants to the lords.
Mhm.
So it's very familiar to you, but it's this feeling of like darkness kind of like pulling you down. And Sanj, your head starts to clear, and you're like, wait a minute, why am I like kneeling down on the ground? Like, why am I like, tearing my hair out?
This is a thing of dark. It's in the torque. It's in the torque. It's in my head now. Let's put this away. I know this feeling of hopelessness that comes when the night is darkest, but dawn will come again. And she is going to try to shove it into a deep recess of her backpack.
Okay.
There's a
Yeah.
space that used to have preserved rations in it, and she's going to try to place it in there. And
Okay. Yeah. So as you're doing that, you know, you're thinking your own thoughts, which are what, like, I'm gonna bury this right now. I'm
going to
putting
bury
it
this and come
away.
back to it later. Yes.
But you're also at the same time you're hearing yourself think, I'll put it here for safekeeping.
Okay.
After all, why shouldn't I?
Exactly like that. Yeah. Yep. Very much like
or
that.
or maybe I'll need this later.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like, like I'm it's like a covetous sort of.
Yeah.
thing. All right, so uh um Chuck, I'm gonna have to make you I'm gonna have you test your will.
Okay. In order to bury it, it's a will test.
No, um you're 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 finding yourself your mind slipping and like
Okay.
being subsumed. It feels like you're kind of like falling asleep. Um like you're fighting off, like dozing off. And you're sort of like fighting off this like sinking feeling that you're getting, pulled back like sort of like through yourself. You're now fighting the possession of Hathor.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, that's bad.
Yeah. That torque.
So to be clear, has he already or she already stashed it in her backpack at this point
Hmm.
before this possession came into play?
That's a good question. Yeah, is it still in my hands, and it's starting to take me over as I try to put it in my backpack, or I have no trouble putting it in my backpack, but now I may be possessed.
Right.
Second option. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. It
Okay.
was I was sort of like giving you the feelings and thoughts that you were having. You were kind of giving me your reactions, and
Yeah.
you brought it to a place that would enable this takeover to happen.
Got it. Yeah, because as I said, I may need this later.
Right. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
well, and she did have, I think one of her early goals was precisely to come out of here with precious objects, antiquities and relics. And this
Mhm.
is a real relic. So, all right. Ready to make a will test. What is the difficulty of this will test and a way to Oh, and we're already hungry and thirsty. Okay, so this is another test on the grind. Is that right?
This will be, yep.
Oh, fuck. Okay, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh, and a torch needs to be lit.
Yes, someone needs to light a torch. Uh,
So I
I'm
see
busy.
my guttering.
I'm
Uh,
busy.
I light
Um,
my
it
Spooky,
was
light a torch.
it was guttering during the fight, during the
Yeah, it
the
was.
the, the
Yeah, it
face
Was.
off.
Yeah, it fell
Mm.
out, like it fell down. Yeah. Okay.
So who is it that's able to light a torch? I kind of think
Yeah,
it might be
that's me.
Pete. I think he's the
Yeah.
most in good shape right now. The
Yeah,
other two of
that
us are a
makes
little
sense.
too
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask a question real quick. So Cadigan is kind of doing this thing, looking at it. It looks very preoccupied and goes in and swings her pack around and starts putting it in. Are you muttering to yourself or anything?
Yeah, sure. I like
Okay.
that a lot. Yeah, so yeah, in fact, she says out loud, quite loudly, "This is a thing of darkness, but it bears further investigation. We can look at it later, and I might need to use it later." She says quietly, almost to herself.
Okay.
Like
Now,
absent-mindedly. I love it.
yeah. Now, you other guys, you're seeing this. How do you feel?
So, having seen Ellendale go through what he did and seeing Sister Cadigan, he's starting to put it together that, there's an influential force and, 1 + 1 = 2. And it clearly like this thing has some sort of an effect. So Nullsworth would like to get Ellendale's attention and say, hey, now that your head's clearing up, uh, we've got to get this thing off of Cadigan. It's affecting her mind too.
So I say yes. I was like, oh, that's what it is. That is what oh, that is what doomed the hapless knave. He's no. Oh, and I like I come up to Cadigan. I'm like, um, you have to let go of that torque.
Hmm.
Drop it now.
Well, I mean, I think she already put it into the pack.
Okay.
Yep.
So how are you guys,
Like,
sort of,
verbally, like
So
I come up to him, maybe I'm not pointing at it, but it's like like I just, because I'm physically bigger, I step up to do that towards you,
all right.
and
So
you might have been turning your back away from me, and I'm like, hey, um, and I might
so
say,
so as you turn Cadigan, you can see that it looks like she's kind of, like her eyes are sort of rolling in the back of her head, but her eyes are also kind of like drowsing
oh,
down, and
shit.
she looks like she's sort of like leaning back a little bit. So let's make that test, Chuck.
Okay. Can I get help from my colleagues in staying awake? It sounds like they've been engaged and are
Um,
interested in helping out.
let's see. I'm gonna say probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's inside. They don't quite know what's happening, and it's your mind fighting it off.
Absolutely. I just didn't know if it was like a situation where they're slapping me or whatever it is that they're doing to try to keep me alert.
What about nature remembering? No. Okay.
No.
I'm stretching.
can
um,
I
I just don't want my priest, the cleric, to go fucking
now,
cuckoo.
this is probably not going to work. It probably needs a skill to tie in, but is it possible that I can light a candle because we need to do that and
Yeah.
sort of hold it in front of her eyes
Hmm.
and be like, Sister Cadigan, look at the light, focus, like,
ooh,
focus your energy and your purity on this. Like
now
there's something corrupting you, you know?
that would, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Take a die for that, Chuck.
I
Okay,
think
great.
Pelor, like the god Pelor in our culture, like in our society, is like probably the chief, right? Like in every town there's a church to Pelor, or is it a cult? Is it a small cult?
I kind of feel like the immortal lords are a bit like sort of like the hero cult, like the mystery cult kind of thing. They're sort of like a pagan kind of pantheon, and Foltis is like the sun,
Oh,
right?
cool.
Because Pelor is like sort of like the old version of it, right? Like Pelor is like the more ancient, folksy
Yeah.
kind of version, I think.
The flan, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Foltis is like the more like monotheistic kind of thing.
Yeah, the
So
Christian God with, okay, cool.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, so Pete, that was great. That's a great idea. So Chuck, yeah, you get that. Now you also have persona points.
Sure. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
can use those to add. What's the difficulty of this test?
It is versus 6. It's a versus test.
Chuck, share your screen, buddy.
I'll be
Okay.
back in a sec.
So it's a versus test, 6 dice for Hosh or Vosh against my whatever my will is. Can I if I tap my nature for this, would it, given that I have nature descriptors that involve demanding, and she has a strong sense of she is the church, would it be within her nature to tap her nature and say, no, you're not telling me what to do, I'm telling you what to do?
Totally.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So you get all your
Absolutely.
dice. And is that do you spend a fate point to be able to tap your nature?
I spend a persona point
Persona point.
Persona.
to
Cool.
tap my
Yep.
nature.
Persona. And your current nature is 3 because you tapped it before, and
Exactly.
you were taxed. So
And I was taxed.
you do get 3 dice on it.
And I was taxed because it was outside my nature, I think. Whereas
Mhm.
this time I'll be taxed, but I won't be taxing quite the same way because it's inside my nature.
Right.
Okay.
I think you're not taxed. I think you're not taxed at all.
Unless I miss, or maybe I'm not taxed at all either way.
I think you might not be taxed at all. We can check though.
Okay.
But yeah, let's
So I'm looking for the button for share my screen, and I'm having trouble finding it. I'm sorry for the slowness here.
It is you see the top 3 buttons at the top of your window there. Oh no, at the bottom. There's a at the bottom menu,
Oh,
there's a
share.
third icon, share screen.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Cool.
And then you
All
got to
right.
select which of your screens. If you have two screens, it'll show like
No, I got it. I got it. I've got it. I'm good here. I'm going to try sharing just the window,
oh
just
great.
because that'll give us it'll be clearer for the video. That way, it's not sharing everything.
Amazing. Great.
Okay, so here we are, and I'm making a will test. So that is this, and you can see this the window inside the window, right? The will test window.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
So this is a versus test, and it's against the opponent's number of dice, 6, and I'm using my nature plus 3 dice. If this is inside my nature, and I'm also getting a helping die.
Yeah, it's not it's a it's like a gear or supply. It's a good idea bonus basically. It's
Okay,
but yeah,
sounds
but
good.
add it wherever you can. Yeah, the other
I
modifiers.
got it down
yeah.
here as an other modifier.
Yep.
Great. So I've got 8 dice. That's not too bad. All right. And last question. I do have the trait, or sorry, the wise forces of darkness wise. Oh, but I'm angry, so I can't use my wises.
Okay.
Oh
If
no, I'm
you
not
if
angry.
you
I'm not angry. I'm angry. What am I?
Yeah, that's the glitch thing.
That's the glitch. I'm not angry. I'm afraid. So could I use forces of darkness wise to in this situation?
if you um if you when you use wises for yourself, it's it's after you roll.
Got it.
So so you can do deeper understanding, which would be spend a fate point to reroll any single failed die, and of course, you spend a persona point to reroll all failed dice.
Got it.
So
Now I understand.
wises that you use to help others, it's called aid, but it works like help. It's adding a die to someone with your
Got it.
your wise. But when you use it for yourself, it's like the safety net. It's post test.
Got it. Okay, great. Thanks for explaining. Okay, so one more time. Here's the will. I'm not using a trait. I am using nature inside, and I am also getting another modifier. So I have 8 dice here against the opponent's 6 dice, and I'm going to say roll. Here we go.
What? How is that possible?
What happened?
What happened?
1 success out of 8
Oh,
die
Oh no.
versus.
Amazing.
see if
I
there's
gotta see the
any
math on that.
six. Oh my
Well,
god.
you
They
can
all
use
3 and 3 and 3.
Okay, wait, just real quick.
Yeah.
So the test is not over yet. So you used a persona point to tap your nature. Did you did you change
let me
it
book that. Let me book it.
and did you add did you add the point to the total spent
Yep.
under your persona? Okay, so you've got
Done.
3 and 1 now.
I've got 2 and 2 now.
Okay. So now you've got your forces of darkness wise.
Right.
So you can use a persona point to reroll all your failed dice.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
You should you stopped screen sharing for some reason.
I did just because I wanted to see what happened and I couldn't see what happened.
Okay.
I will start screen sharing again. Thank you for reminding me.
So I don't think that this works like the Forge system where you can just click, to reroll. So it looks like you're gonna have to.
I'm gonna have to do it by hand. That's fine. I can do it by hand.
So you're re-rolling 7 dice.
Rolling 7d6, which is I think the code for that is /R.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Is it /R D
Forward
/7d6?
/R space D6.
7d6.
Yeah.
Space 7d6. Got it. Okay, here we go.
1,
Okay.
2. You got 2 successes, so total 3.
This
Okay.
is, there are so many bad and traitorous dice in my life. And I just want to make an announcement about the many traitors that I faced today.
Hmm.
All right, so
Wow.
that ties it up.
Yeah.
It's a tied will test between Sister Cadigan and the Hathor Vash.
Yeah. So let's we had a tiebreaker last time. I haven't seen so many tiebreakers.
Yeah.
It, it's been a rare thing for me. I'm not sure if it's more common with other people, but yeah. Let's find this section here. Tiebreaker. Never do it. Overcoming obstacles.
Is it
28.
something like if you have a trait to break it?
You can use a trait against yourself to break the tie in their favor, and you get a check.
Right.
But I
Oh.
think here we don't
You
want
don't
to do
want
that. All right, so breaking ties. So if a versus test is tied, there are many ways to break it. +1 success or 2 success bonuses from traits. You could use a trait.
Just
Oh,
plus
you
1.
can.
It just gives you a granted +1 if you have an appropriate trait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would touched by the gods be an appropriate trait?
I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
and
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. All right.
Nice.
So that's pretty simple.
That's amazing.
All right.
So
Great.
maybe you have to mark the use of that test as
I
a
do.
benefit.
I did just mark a beneficial use of touched by the gods.
Sick.
Yeah, so you break the tie in your favor. So I mean, I'm assuming that's how it works because as it reads, +1 or 2 successes, bonus successes from traits.
Great.
So yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that level? I mean, wait, level 3. Level
Was that a
3.
level 3 test?
I think that's a level. No, I think it's a level 3 trait.
Level 3 trait.
Gives you the successes.
Got it. Let's check it.
A level 3 trait grants +1 success and oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, I read it wrong. So it's +1 success or +2 success. Bonuses from traits, comma, might, and gear break ties in your favor. So, okay, yeah. So then it breaks it down. Level 3 trait grants +1 success. Okay, we're dumb. Higher might in the conflict. You do not have higher might.
No, I don't think I do.
No way.
And so we might have to go to a tiebreaker roll because I don't think there's anything else that will help here. So if you rolled will or health in the initial tied roll, use nature to break the tie. Standard nature rules apply. If you rolled nature in the initial test, use will or health to break the tie.
Great.
Yeah, whoever wins the tiebreaker roll wins the versus test.
Great. And I'm sure that her nature is a little higher than mine, but we'll find out.
Yeah, let me just check because yeah, she's an enemy, so she doesn't have will or health. So yeah, so she's just doing it again. So her thing is gonna be 6.
Man, okay. Well, I don't think this is going to happen for me. So I have an almost certain failure here. Would it make more sense for me to just go ahead and use a trait to break the tie against myself? Because then
You
I at least
could.
earn a check for it.
You could do that, but if Nullsworth is still holding the candle,
Right.
I'll give you that die for that.
Oh,
So
okay.
you'd be rolling your nature, so 3, so that's 4 dice.
It's 4 dice. All right. I'll give it a check.
And then there's also, that there's still the your persona. You can use another persona point to add a die straight up.
That die. Then I at least have 5 dice against 6.
So that's 5 versus 6, and she's not getting 6 guaranteed successes. So
No, absolutely.
it's worth a shot.
Yeah,
Share screen.
I'm getting the sense this is important, and worth spending a lot on. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a lot on it. Here we go.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, so here we are, back in Chuckland. I'm spending my last Persona point. I now have spent 4 Persona points. So, how many
What?
do you need to spend to level up? Is it?
You got all your Persona points. You just got to
I-
spend 3 fate now.
I see. Okay, sounds good. All right. So this is a nature test. I'm rolling. Why does it say I'm rolling 4 rather than 3?
Look down. Yeah. Huh.
So it does know that I've got 3 of 4.
Yeah, because it added 3 earlier, just for when
It
you
did,
tapped your
yeah.
nature.
Yeah. So is it the case that I roll 4 when I'm just rolling it in this situation? Oh, it's because no, not because I'm sending Persona.
Yeah, because it wouldn't really know that. Oh, okay, yeah, you just added it. I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe it's because you have 3. Oh, is it 3? It's 3 of 4. Okay.
Yeah, is it the case that when your nature is tapped, that until it goes fully down, that when you roll straight nature, it rolls at the higher number, or is this an error in the machine?
I think it's an error.
Okay.
But I put -1 under the other modifiers.
Mhm.
Actually, but then there's Pete's thing. So then it's a
I'll just
wash
take
there.
off the other modifier, and that way it's an even split.
Yeah.
Mm.
Even Steven. All right, sounds good. 5 dice on 6. Here we go.
Oh wait, hold on.
Sorry,
Um,
I haven't looked at it.
Count.
do you want to use Touched by the Gods?
Oh, can I again?
Sure. I mean, I think.
Okay.
I don't see why not. Wait, did you use it already for the first one?
I did use it for the first one.
Oh, I thought you didn't. Oh, okay.
Remember, I re-rolled all those, and that's what brought us to the
Right.
tie.
Okay.
So I think I can't use it again on this situation. Boy, look at all those traitors.
I know that's rough, man. That's really rough.
And Eric rolled 6 successes with 2 6s.
That's insane.
Sorry.
Which is probably like, if you think about the enemy you're facing down here, it probably makes sense.
Yeah, it totally
That
does.
is brutal. Oh no.
So
Okay.
Yeah, go
Hold
Pete.
on. Just okay.
what I wanted to do, now obviously we have to figure out what are the results of what happened here. But what I wanted to do before this started happening was like sort of yank the backpack off of him with my grappling hook. Now, is that something that we can still do, or like, do we have to calculate the fallout of this first?
Well,
Yeah, I think we resolved this and
just give me 1 sec.
mhm.
So Chuck failed the roll. But you are okay. I'm not gonna give you the twist. I'm not gonna give you the, I'm not gonna drop the hammer. I'm gonna give you a condition
Okay.
to pull through it. I think this is appropriate. You are angry
Okay.
because you're fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and you're using your fury of the lords, to try to fight this darkness.
Sounds
And
good.
you started with trying to be clear-headed and strong, and kind of going towards the light. But the more she dragged you down, the more like your rage was the thing that was helping you come out of it.
Right.
And so you were just gnashing your teeth and just fighting and fighting and fighting, and just letting your anger just take over, and that's what breaks you. That's what breaks you free. Finally, it feels like there's like hands like pulling your, pulling your face back, and then like you finally just like just scream out, and you feel the hands just pull away, and this weight is just lifted off of you, and then you collapse onto the floor, heaving and shaking.
I've had enough of the darkness down here. I've had enough of your arguments. We're going up and we're camping up in the light. We need to go now.
Do you walk off?
Yeah, we follow.
No, yeah, it's Cadigan. Do you start walking?
Yeah, I think she starts going.
Yeah.
Like, do you have Skooky in hand? Like, are you dragging?
Yeah, I think she grabs him and starts dragging him along the ground in a way that's not going to be entirely comfortable for him unless somebody wants to get the other end of him. But she starts moving before it starts dragging him bodily.
Is Scoopy passed out? Really?
No,
no, we just tied him up for his own good.
Kind of
he's a dude. He's babbling and stuff.
But if we kind of lead him out and he can walk, right?
Yeah, he could walk. He's not like cooperating really, but you can get him to,
Yeah, okay.
It's like pulling a dog that doesn't want to go in where you want to go.
But right now you've got a dog walker who's had enough, and she's not waiting for the dog to get on its feet. She's just.
Yep.
Pete, what did you want to do with about that torque in the bag?
Yeah, I wanted to pull that backpack off of her and get the torque away from her body.
She has this outburst. Like, how do you guys react to that? There was a lot of emotion and anger and like frustration. Did that break through? Did that have an effect on you? Aside from your, you guys wanting to get the thing away from her, emotionally, how do you guys react to that?
I think for me, it's an outburst, and I'm like, Sister Cadigan, this thing is corrupting you. We need to get this away from you.
But she
so
broke
you can
free.
Purify yourself.
She broke free.
Yeah. Okay. But this thing
I've got it
still...
under control. I've got it in control. And we need to get this group in control, and that means getting out to the light now.
I couldn't agree with you more.
She's walking. She's walking.
Okay.
I didn't mean to usurp your leadership.
I say Ellsworth, let's go. It's getting too dangerous down here.
I agreed. Elendil, you're much bigger than I, and I think physically it might be great if you could help Skooky along the way.
Yeah.
Sister Cadigan's a little bit out of her element right now.
Yeah, that's what I do. I pick up Skooky and manhandle him.
All right.
In Mr. Cadigan's direction.
All right.
And I try to like sort of scurry ahead and keep pace with Sister Cadigan. And
with your candle.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going with that. Is sort of like my little legs obviously have to do twice the work that hers do. So I'm I'm sort of halfway running, just trying to keep pace with her sort of swift walk that she's got going on right now.
Yeah.
And and I guess I'm asking Sister Cadigan, like, you've won this mental victory right now, but are you certain that you can maintain it?
I don't know. Let's get upstairs. Let's get outside. We can talk over dinner.
Agreed. I think we could all use a good meal. Let's get out of here.
All right, so you're crossing that other, the other room, the one with the fountain and stuff.
Yeah.
And the the candle like glitters off of the ladle, the ewer, that's sitting on the
Mhm.
edge of the tub. And you know, in this sort of like commotion, you all but forget Nullsworth. You get a few paces ahead, and then you hear the creaking and clicking and like stamping around of those the tomb guardians that are in, you know, that are just kind of like just around
hallway.
the that corner in the hallway.
Now, last that I heard from them, so if we imagine the tomb is, you know, off to the west and the entry is to the south, and then that hallway with the honeycomb sort of skull slots was kind of going north, right?
Mhm.
And then the skeletons had gone in that direction
Yep.
last time we saw them.
Right.
And we're heading away from that direction. So have they kind of like done their paces back and forth and they're by the entry, or are they on the north end of
They're on the
that?
north. They're on like the corner to the north, like, you know, further
Yeah.
up that hallway from what, you know, like when you came down into the place,
Yeah.
it kept
Mhm.
going forward. They're in that further.
They're still there. Okay.
We
But
veered off to
whenever-
the left, but yeah, they're up. So they're not
But you're-
between us and the door. That's the main thing.
Mm.
Right.
They're
They
That's
haven't,
not-
that's what I'm
they're
asking.
not
Yeah.
blocking, but you can hear that they're close. You can hear like the weapons rattling and stuff.
And they're no
that's
longer
pretty
under the
close.
influence of whatever fear of God I put into them. They're fully active again.
She turned undead.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you
That
can't
doesn't
tell,
last
but
forever.
right.
Right. You're warning us a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. All right.
So, Nulsworth, what do? You're ahead. You hear that?
1 second. Somebody say something.
I just said,
Hey, there we go.
Mr. Nulsworth, you're there. You're the first one that like realizes shit. There's skeletons on the other side of that. On the other side.
Yeah,
of that.
yeah, yeah.
We
So
are
I
coming,
make-
like barreling right behind you.
So I make eye contact with Cadigan and I do this like 0 dark 30 sort of, you know, over there, like eye
Yeah.
contact, you know, like, and I kind of indicate that we need to like be quiet and make our way to the door.
Cool.
Are you saying that? Okay, we'll do miming.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like quiet. We gotta get the fuck out of here quietly. That's basically the point.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Does that help at all in our situation?
Do you all do that?
Yeah, I'll look around the corner first and make sure, like, assess how far they are. If I can, I have like a little bit of tunnel vision or dark vision. I peer into the shadows to see how far they are and if they're turned and walking away from us or walking in our direction.
All right. That is gonna warrant a test.
Right.
Of course.
Okay.
Scout versus their nature.
Okay. Anyone else have scout?
I do.
Cool. I think it makes sense we're both doing it. I could be helping you out, Pete, if you want.
Does it matter who's first or last in line or who's closest to them?
I mean, kinda, but also not really. Like, I mean, how are you guys, you know, situated?
Well, I imagine it was like myself just slightly ahead of Cadigan,
Yeah.
and then
I come up behind.
Ellendale kind of with Skooky under his shoulder or over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's really about, I suppose, because he's closest, it's about Ellendale, you know, probably making the stealth roll, I'm assuming.
Well,
Scout, I just said like I wanted to peer up into the darkness.
Oh, gotcha.
They're not walking towards me or away from us, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
So the two of you
Sure.
are making a scout roll. One of you is helping the other, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad to help Nullsworth because you were there first.
Mhm.
It makes much sense.
Well, I've got Scout 2.
Okay. I have scout 4.
Oh,
I think we know who
Yeah.
should be scouting.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
scouting.
you're the scout.
You know what? But I'm getting help. So other modifiers.
Mhm.
1D. Is it a versus their nature?
yep,
And the nature is 3 or 4?
3.
3. All right, here we go. I'm not spending anything right now. 3.
Yeah.
That's how you roll.
They
Nice.
didn't
Now
roll
I
any.
understand. If
They didn't
only
roll
I
any
knew
dice.
earlier. Thank
They
you
didn't-
for showing me.
Guys, they didn't roll any dice.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Oh, the
because-
skeletons didn't.
Oh, because I don't have I didn't take my cursor out of the
Mhm.
against opponent's dice thing. So just
Gotcha.
roll.
So I'll let you keep those 3 successes. You
Yeah.
can just roll again.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just
so-
on the dice roller.
Oh,
just
when
ask-
I roll, okay. You don't roll, I roll. Oh, cool. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
So don't forget to mark a success for that.
Nice. That's cool. I got my second scout success. Pass. So what do I see?
Yeah, so what do you do to
I kind of picture it like Alondil above and Nullsworth below, and we're two we peer.
peering our 2 heads?
And
You're like 2 of the Beatles.
then I cock my my elven ear.
So yeah, so you look around, and well, you got the candle. So the only reason that you can see them is because you've got the candle.
No, I think we narrated that Elendil has dark vision, and so does Pete, doesn't he?
No,
Doesn't
no, no. Halfling. I don't think halflings ever did.
Oh, I see.
Because they're just like little humans, basically.
Got it.
Yeah.
And in this game, there's no
No dark vision.
dark
Sorry.
vision or anything
Cool.
like that.
Okay, so candlelight, whatever, we're done.
Candlelight, yeah. So you're
Maybe
just
they
taking
won't
it.
notice the bright light shining in their freaking dead eyes.
You're just taking a chance, So you look around, and there's just enough of your candlelight coming out, into this hallway. Maybe you guys are just all hopped up and you just forgot, oh, they'll see our light. So you look around, and they're just kind of like standing, mostly facing your direction, and their eyes, their heads are just kind of like facing forward. They're just like facing in the direction, like basically like as soon as you come out into there, sneaking or not, they're looking
Damn.
straight ahead.
Damn.
So what do we get for that scout check? It was a successful scout check. What do we get to our advantage that we can use to get out of here?
Knowing that sneaking probably won't work.
Running is what needed. Thank you. We got to mine running.
Can we distract them with a throw something like down the other way, or is there any?
Sure.
You want to make it into a trick conflict?
I
I don't know if you guys want to go into a conflict. Right
No, we don't. We definitely don't.
I'm wondering, guys, I have flasks of oil, and I'm wondering if I can sort of, I don't know, create like a Molotov sort of situation, maybe throwing the oil and then throwing the candle or something. I don't know if that's somehow a useful distraction or
That's cool. I
or a
like
weapon.
It's
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
Does
yeah.
everyone in the party agree that that's a strategy we should try?
So Nelsworth is doing it quietly, right? He's like,
Yeah.
Throwing
It's
the
the
oil is
whole
easy enough.
sign language thing. Yeah.
It's throwing the candle that's tricky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't throw the candle. I'd kind of light
Yeah,
the
I feel like you guys
plastic
can
oil
come up
with
with.
this.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
somebody's got healer, so you might have some bandages, or somebody's got scholar. There's like a little bit of paper that can be
Sure.
Or
like wrapped around the flask or something. Yeah, like
Tear
you've
off
got
a little
all.
piece of a robe or whatever.
Yeah, you've got because remember, any skill that you have, you're carrying around the requisite knickknacks and stuff for it. So
Mm.
yeah, so you guys all have different different shit that you could probably light on, like wrap around a flask and light it on fire.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we just say like a successful test gives us bonus dice for the escape, like the running?
Well, I'm gonna do it so if you're using a flask of oil
Mhm.
as like supplies for
Mhm.
the escape
Mhm.
roll.
Mhm.
It's giving you a bonus die.
Got
Okay,
it.
cool. Cool.
Mhm.
So it's just that's the test. Okay. It's
Yeah, the
just
test
that's
is
the
just going
bonus
to be
die.
running.
Okay.
Mhm.
How do you roll escape? How does that work?
Well, this is going to be um
Flee conflict or something.
a
We're
straight
not
up.
doing it as conflict.
Yeah, if you fail and like they really get on top of you, I might make it, I might put it into a conflict depending on how you deal with it.
Okay.
Mhm.
You really want to probably avoid conflict at least at this point in time as much as you possibly can.
Mhm.
And I think at least how I like to do this game is do as much with as little as possible.
Mhm.
You can do a lot of stuff with just the skills and just the abilities. Um, like somebody jumps out and tries to attack you. We don't have to go into a kill conflict or a subdue conflict. Roll fighter. Do
Right.
you knock them back? Do you
Right.
do you
Right.
stand your
Mhm.
ground? If you don't, how do you deal with it? Then we might go into the conflict. And same thing with social things and you know um
Mhm.
but of course you can only do that for so long and you're advancing the grind and stuff. So but I always try to do what's as simple as possible. If that doesn't work, conflict time.
Mm.
Sounds
um
good.
so having said that, you can just run for it, and that's a health test. So
Mhm.
I'd have um somebody lead it. And
Who's the most physical capable?
I have
Ellendale?
4. I have health of 4, but I'm imagining that's like not crazy.
What
four's
about
good.
Sister Cadden?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the right now, Cadigan cannot help
Okay.
because
Mm.
she is in a situation where she is afraid, and afraid means she
Mhm.
cannot help. Um,
Okay.
so if we're all three doing this, then it makes sense for you guys to follow her lead, and she'll make her health test, and you guys can help her.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
on the
So
other hand, it's also I'm totally up for standing back and letting the two of you handle this.
And what's
What?
Cadigan's health? 4. So that's
4.
not bad. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
I think what we'll say we'll kind of be like, you know what? I kind of whisper to you, goes, I'm sorry that we came to blows. You must get your mind together. Forget Hathor Vosh and the voices that doomed you. They were those same ones that caused me to act against you. Come on, you can do this. We have to run. They are right upon us. And meanwhile, like Nelsworth is getting his little thing. Oh, and I'm gonna get a little close.
That's an incredible Ellsworth voice. Now I'm
All
gonna
right.
commit to that for the rest of the game.
Okay, cool.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sharing my sheet again. I am rolling health against what's the number of dice that the opponents have?
That's going to be 3.
Okay. and I'm getting help from other people. Is it 2 dice from other people?
One for me, yeah.
Yep. Everybody's got health.
All right. So
Mhm.
2 dice from other people. That gives me a total of 6 dice.
Hmm.
Oh, I guess I could have put that down as help or aid, but I did it another way. So sorry about that.
And then how
Uh,
does the makeshift Molotov come into play here?
The
Add
bonus.
1 die.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, great.
And and since supplies take up supplies for skills, they take up 1 whole inventory slot.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have, like, even if you have like more than 1 flask in that slot, I'm gonna have you
Mhm.
use all of it to make
Okay.
it kind of equal to what supplies are.
So
Okay.
I'm deleting flasks of oil out of my inventory.
Yep.
We're
Okay.
using all
Yeah,
the flasks of oil. It's going to be a
yeah,
big fire.
you realize that you gotta, you realize that you gotta use it. You gotta use it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Done
right.
deal.
So when multiple of these are getting thrown,
Mm.
and then the final one is the one that's got the wick and it's burning, and we throw that, and it sets the whole thing ablaze.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I was picturing,
Cool.
like, tying them all together, but no, I like that. Like, splashing it all around. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
And then a
Oh,
great wall of fire is going to erupt. All
so
right.
All right. So here's
bonus
the deal.
2 dice.
Now, if you succeed, actually, no. I mean, I always have the option to give you a condition or a
Sure.
twist. So I will let you know.
Okay,
You
so
I'll say that you want to succeed because you might have to make a Dungeoneer test to wriggle up that tight tunnel.
Mm.
So this is going to
Oh,
help you get there in time or faster than they can react, so you can get up that thing.
all right.
Mhm.
Sounds good. All right. Well,
cool. This is so
all
fun.
right. All right. Here we go. 7 dice on 3, and we all know how good at rolling dice I am. I'm very, very good at rolling dice.
Yay!
Hey, made it.
Yay.
Awesome. What happened? So 5-2.
Mhm.
Nice. Cool. All right. Tell me what happens, guys.
So we had that little like pep talk speech. I say I'm gonna help you. I kind of like take Skooky with one arm, right? And I have you in front of me so that and I'm pushing you along. I give Nelsworth a look. Nelsworth goes,
Yeah, Nelsworth, what does that look like?
Um, he's sort of he's sort of still in the wind up or the sort of the aftermath of having thrown the vials of oil, the final vial, the lit up one, and he's picking up his bag, his backpack, and putting it back on as he runs away.
Okay,
And
cool.
I'm assuming he's going to have to be the last one, sort of pushing as they're pulling Skooky through. He's pushing Skooky, you
right.
know.
All right, so
Oh.
Cadigan, you're the leader on this. How do you what happens?
All right. So we get up to this hole, and we need to wriggle through. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I guess I kind of meant like narrate like what it looks like when
All right.
the vials are thrown and
The vials are thrown, and the
Elendil
whole
gives you the pep talk, and then what does Cadigan?
passageway is suddenly filled with light, and as we run, our shadows are cast in front of us. So the only part that it's difficult to actually see quite where we're going because our shadows are actually in our way, and everything else
And
is really
as are
brightly
the
lit.
skeletons too.
Yes, yes, and they don't scream, but there's a smell like a barbecue joint I used to like to visit back in my hometown, and I find that deeply disturbing because I know this is the smell of human bones roasting in the flames.
Yeah, so they're totally caught in the flames.
Mm.
Awesome.
And we get we get partway down the thing, and Cadigan almost goes too far in her rage and her fear and her motion, and Elendil has to grab her arm and show her, no, the exit is right here, because the architecturally the whole thing is designed as this long hallway, and
Yeah.
and there's this little interruption where a hole, a cave-in caused this hole, and so it's Elendil who sees, with his instinct for the stars and for green spaces, senses, oh no, this is the thing, and grabs Cadigan and redirects her, and she claps Elendil on the back and pushes him into the hole and up the hole.
Derek, can you describe what's going on with the skeletons?
Yeah, so like the starts to explode, and some of them got behind them, but like that last one kind of like landed sort of like on one's leg.
Mhm.
So and the ones that landed behind them splashed on the backsides of the skeletons, like that of their bony legs, and just boom, just goes up in flames. So like there's like fire all on the floor, and that just sort of whoosh, like creates all this light. But the skeletons are also on fire too, and they're old like brittle bones, and like whatever scraps of like tunic and like finery that they had on, that catches on fire too. So they're like sort of like, it's almost like you think you can kind of hear them like,
Do they feel the pain? Do you think they feel the pain, or they just kind of like crumble?
I don't know. I mean, they're still held together. I kind of
Mhm.
picture them like not just like a skeleton like in a classroom. Like I picture that there's still sort of like almost like
Yeah,
mummified, you know, like
yeah, yeah,
connected,
like
like still there's still a connecting
sinew
tissue.
and
Yeah.
totally,
And
yeah.
So
that's where the good barbecue smell. It's
oh
the
yeah.
marrow is the marrow inside is boiling.
It's like
Yeah.
pop,
Yeah, so some of them have like, you know, an arm will crumble off, but they're kind of like they're coming after you, but not fast, and like they're just, you know, all aflame, waving their weapons around and the clanking and stuff, and just, you know, just you still hear them, you know, clattering, you know, like stomping across the floor, but you know, you've got a head start, and they're on fire, and you know, you've got complete control of the situation. But
Do we
yeah,
have to make a
they're
Dungeoneers
slowly
test?
trudging towards you. What's that?
Do we have to make a Dungeoneers test to get out of the hole?
No, you succeeded on this.
Oh,
So
great.
you bought yourself the time
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That was
to do
the
it.
consequence, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we come out like it's basically uphill, right? We're climbing out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. And it's just, you know, you're on your bellies, just, you
yeah.
know, wriggling up.
Oh my God, that's so terrifying. And man, it feels good to breathe the cold night
Yes.
air. Oh, you know, like we're breathing heavy, just like dying there. Oh, fuck, that was hard, man. What? What happened? That was terrifying. Where's the torque? Who has a torque?
The torque is safe for now. We need to make camp.
Don't touch it. Don't take it out anywhere.
I won't.
I mean, how safe can it be? It nearly took control of both of you.
That's why I don't want to touch it right now.
All right, so make sure Cadigan, your failed will test from before and your successful health test from just now.
Okay. I think actually the will test became a nature test, so I logged a failed nature test
Oh, right.
because the tiebreaker was nature.
Yeah, I'm not, I think there's something about I should just come
That's
back
the
to it later.
Yeah, that's the way it worked in Burning Wheel, is that you log a test for the tiebreaker
If you
skill
break
rather
a
than for
tie in your favor, you mark a pass test for that ability. If you break a tie in your opponent's favor by using a trait, blah blah blah, you mark a fail test. If you go to a tiebreaker roll, you do not mark a pass or fail for the for the first roll. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a pass. Okay, yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep. So it's a nature.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. Thank
All
you
right,
for
so
reminding me.
yeah, no problem. So it is like just about dawn when you come out.
Amazing.
But it's that kind of like you've been underground for a while. I mean, several hours, I would say, like not, you haven't been down there for days, obviously, but you come out and you can't really tell if it's dawn or dusk.
Right.
You're kind of like disoriented, you kind of don't really remember what it was like when you went down in. So yeah, it's quiet. It's, dusk or dawn, and yeah, there's just like the rolling kind of craggy, scrabbly sort of like foothills kind of area um around the tunnel. So I'm assuming you guys want to camp.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've all taken our heavy breaths, Nollsworth stands in between everybody, and he's making eye contact, and he's like, "Okay, guys, I need to know, is everyone back?" And he makes eye contact with Elendil, and he's like, "Do you have your stuff under control right now? Are you with me right now?"
I am possession of my mind, but I'm shameful of not rescuing this child and coming out of this with more to show for all that we have endured.
We
I
have
vow that I
information.
will I vow that I will head back in there with more cunning than I've shown. I'm sorry,
And
but I failed us.
we've gained experience and knowledge. There's no failure in that. You've proven yourself a worthy member of this team.
And we cannot help the child. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to.
Not yet. No, yeah, and
We
let's
cannot
say
help the child until we're healthier than we are. But
and I with you sort of jumping in on that sentence, I turn around and I look at you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sister Cadigan, thank you. Exactly what I wanted to say. It's good to see that you're of sound mind again. Can you say you're at your full faculty right now?
I am not. I am angry. I am afraid. I am hungry.
I'm hungry and thirsty.
I'm thirsty. And I am not at my best. I know in seminary they taught us to be they toughened our minds by taking us on long walks and exhausting us and teaching us how when we grow exhausted we grow angry and cruel to one another, and we had to learn to control our passions, but we also learned it's best to get a good meal in your belly. So I
think we
propose we
need
do
to
that.
remedy that. I think we need to remedy that. And between the two of them, Nollsworth sort of puts his hand on both of their backs and guides them away on the journey to find exactly the right camping spot that Nollsworth's instincts will allow.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, great. So let's we can start the camp. Chuck, when do you have to cut out?
I think 9:15 would be ideal. 9:30 at the outset side.
Yay!
All right. So let's try to do
Let's
camp.
I bet we can burn through camp in half an hour. I don't think that's crazy.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. I haven't done it in a little while, so camp. All right. So camp phase procedure. So let's see. Everyone's got checks, so we can make check, or we can make camp.
I love the decor in your room, Pete. It's
Thanks.
so perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
Oh man, I'm gonna do that in my little hole here.
Yeah, the domes there are all like the Bat family, like all the different characters in the Bat family, and I was kind of inspired by the Killing Joke. Like
Oh,
there's a scene in the Killing Joke in the Bat Cave where there's a couple of the suits like in these dome jars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the glowing sort of glass things there, that's all Star Trek stuff.
That's great.
You gotta
And
invite
then
me over, buddy.
yeah, we missed that window the other day.
Yeah.
And really like now it's just clean enough for people to look at because this is also like my studio / workspace.
Hmm.
So there was like all this arts and crafts crap everywhere for a while.
Nice. I love it.
Little dog.
Oh, he's so
Oh.
cute.
He's rascally. He was torturing his brother, and that's what was all the. Oh, I hope the noise wasn't too bad earlier.
Is he new?
No, he's been around for he's 3 years old, 2.5 years old now.
He's so cute.
Yeah, very, very cute. I got a couple of Bichon dogs. That's the kind of dog I've got. They're highly cute. They're kind of useless.
That's so cute.
I'd like to see their stat page.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah, their main stat is
17.
skills lapdog.
Highly cute.
Yeah. Hello.
I thought that this was supposed to give. That's weird. I thought it was supposed to give enhancements to your camp role, but that's confusing to me now.
What book are you looking in right now?
This is I'm using my combined book, but I think it's the scholars. I think it's the scholars guide.
It is the
Mhm.
scholars guide. The camp rules are there.
All right, so you've got your instinct to find the nice camp spot, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna roll your survivalist, and the factors. If you look in the skill section of the Dungeoneers handbook,
Mm-hmm.
we figure out we're trying to figure out like what type of camp this is. So this is going to be I don't think we're near town.
I was hoping for an abandoned ruins.
Ooh.
From what I remember, there's a handful of options, or they were sort of vague suggestions.
It's honestly, it's you get what you get.
Mhm.
Really?
I mean, are you guys gonna like search far and wide for ancient ruins right now? Like that's
No. Where like isn't this dolmen kind of an ancient ruin? Because
It is.
yeah.
I personally was thinking like around the corner off to the side, like,
Yeah. Right near
like
the entrance.
I was thinking like, like 50 meters ish away from the entrance, hopefully tucked in a shadow somewhere.
Yeah.
I think the factors that you can when you're rolling your survivalist, the factors you can roll for things like, do you want water or do you want, ready source of mushrooms or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I determined the camp type by location.
Okay.
And I select the danger level. You guys have nothing to do with that decision. Unless you're telling me that you want to use Pathfinder to go find ancient ruins.
No. So what are we doing anyway?
Yeah, so this is wilderness.
Okay.
Which is not bad.
Yeah.
Danger level is typical. So it's not unsafe and it's not dangerous.
Mhm.
You're just outside. You're in a semi-wild area, but you're not, deep in a jungle or surrounded by vicious animals or skeletons or anything like that. So that's the situation. So now what you're gonna do, Pete, is you're gonna look around for amenities to give your camp better stuff. So you can do you can look for shelter, water source, or concealment. I mean, and you can look for all of those things together, and those add different things. I haven't done this in a while, so oh yeah, okay, great. So camp events roll bonuses. Using the survivalist skill to find or make shelter for an outdoor camp grants +1 to the camp events. Finding concealment grants +1 to the events. And having a ranger in the party in wilderness adds +1 to the camp events roll. So that's cool.
That's so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, so you can finding a water source means that you can fill up your all your water and stuff.
Nice.
But
Mhm.
those make the roll a little bit more challenging. So
Sure.
all of these things add to the camp events roll, which is a roll that I make. And you want to roll high, obviously,
Mhm.
because you can either get just safe camp or possibly some bonuses.
Gotcha.
So
So do we start with the camp events roll, or do we start with his
we start
survivalist roll?
we start with the survivalist roll because that's the survey before the camp. So
And
he has
what's
an
the ob that
he has
or
an
does he
instinct.
choose?
What's that? Oh, I put the factors together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this would normally cost a turn, but he has an instinct to do it, so it's free. So we are in wilderness, so that starts at 2.
Mhm.
The number of adventurers is a small group, so that adds 0. Do you want to look for shelter, water source, or concealment? Because that's going to raise the odd by 1 each.
So I've already spent my instinct on 1 die. Is what you're saying? Did you say I've already spent my instinct adding to the roll?
No. Nope. No,
Mhm.
I'm putting the obstacle together. I'm putting the
Oh,
ob
okay.
together for you. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then we calculate. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So if do you want to you can choose if you want to add if you want to try to find shelter, a water source, and or concealment. Those add +1 to the roll if you're successful. I mean,
I'd
they
like
add +1 to the camp events roll.
I'd like to add concealment and water.
Okay, so that's going to make the obstacle 4.
Ooh, that's tough. What's his what's your skill level?
So I have Scout 2, Scavenger 2,
Survivalist.
Survivalist 2. I have Hunter 2.
So the key
Survivalist
thing
is the
here is
roll.
survivalist.
Is okay.
So I think we're wanting to just aim for one of those things to start off with,
And
and we can iteratively add more things to camp as we go along.
okay,
Each time we camp, we
Sanj
can add more.
but Sanj can't also add a die based on his
He,
skills.
I
he
can
can't
help.
help because you're using an instinct. He can't help.
He does have a
Oh.
similar instinct, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or we actually have a die. Sorry, we have a roll to spare from the because right now we're on the second turn of the grind. So we could go ahead and do a third action on the grind, and then both of you could do this. We just don't want to get to that fourth action because that's when I'm going to get hit with exhausted or sick or something.
Right, that's true.
So if you want both of you to help, just do this on the grind rather than using your instinct to do it. And that way you can get help from Sanj or from Sanj.
What do you guys say? What do you say,
Uh,
Sam?
sh- you know what? I don't know. I don't know. It's like I'll just help. Yeah, I'll help you. I want to help you. Yeah. Let's improve our chances.
Okay.
So
Remember though that if your instinct benefits the group, you get a point. You get a
Oh, that's
persona
true.
point.
You get a fate point, not a persona.
Fate
True.
point, yeah, that's what I meant. Um. Okay. So you still want to do it that way? You'll have 4.
So I've lost track. How many die do we have, and what's the ob?
The ob is going to be 4 if you want concealment and water source.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 3 if you only want one of those.
And if you get help and you've got 2 dice from your skill, you got 1 die from Sanj. You might be able to tap your nature if this is important. You could spend a persona die and tap your nature.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any
Uh,
relevant nature descriptors here?
Could I use my hoarding nature when it comes to looking for resources?
Yeah, because you're trying to get the best, cushiest,
Yeah.
most like well-stocked little campsite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Okay.
And your nature is 5.
Wow.
That's insane. Yeah, do it as your instinct. Yeah, do this as your instinct. So you'll get a
Uh-huh.
fate point. You're not
Okay.
costing a turn on the grind.
Mhm.
Spend one of your persona points to tap your nature. That's awesome.
Okay. So what am I rolling? My brain is fried right now. I can't.
So it's survivalist. So this is
Okay.
survivalist.
All right.
And the ob is going to be 4. If you still want to do those, add the two amenities there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So now so we're going to check independent.
And
Mhm.
spend a persona point if you haven't already.
Spend persona 1. And
Yep.
then there was using nature, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Plus 55 dice.
What does that mean? That doesn't make sense.
It's
Why?
because
Why would it be plus 55 dice?
if you go so close out of that dialog box, it's probably because his nature's been written in incorrectly. So it should be 5 in front of the it might be there's only if you go into edit mode,
5 of 5.
Yeah.
there's a 5
Oh,
slash and
there
there's an
was
extra
2
5 in
5s.
there.
There was
Oh,
2
shit.
5s in there. Yeah.
That's funny. And it just didn't show.
And it was like,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, so let's try that again. Survivalist. Spend persona. No, use nature. Why does it still say plus 5 die? Is that correct?
It is plus
Yeah.
5 because you
Yeah,
have a
your
5.
nature's
Okay.
5. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't click spend persona unless you're spending another persona point to add a die.
Gotcha.
Because I don't think you're doing that.
What else did I have? Evil GM factor. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's when I can F with you.
Okay,
So Eric,
did I?
if you can see his dialog box, you might be able to share a screen and show it to the internet.
Yeah, can you share from yours?
Sure.
If you're seeing the box that I'm seeing.
Yeah. Pete can't share his?
He's doing
He's
Zoom in
got
a different way.
Oh, okay. Sure. Share screen. How do I do that? I haven't done this in a while.
at the bottom, like in the bottom, like
More?
at the no at the end of all at the bottom of all the Zoom screens, like
Uh-huh.
you have a Zoom meeting window.
Mhm.
Just roll over the bottom area, and
Mhm.
the icons will pop up, and it's a third one.
Oh, and it'll say share.
Share
All right,
screen.
I got. Oh, okay.
Mute, stop video.
I make my thing really narrow, so
Oh yeah, then it'll be under more
so I didn't see
if you
it.
make it narrow.
Okay.
It could be on the right or the left. Then.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Sharing screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I did not do that. Hang on, let me fix that.
Chuck, what the hell?
Dang it, host.
Multiple people can do it now. Try it again.
Guys, look, I
All
put
right.
the map of Greyhawk where we are,
Oh yeah.
but it's all backwards. I don't know how to flip that.
It's forwards for us.
It's forwards for us. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's so crazy.
All right, so obstacle independent against 4. You're rolling. Use nature.
Why isn't this? It's not letting me do it.
It's not letting you do it.
Fuck
I
it.
don't know what's wrong with that.
I can pick up my phone and just turn it towards my screen.
Oh, it says allow participants to share screen. Okay, hang on. I might be able to open up his thing at my end, but it's not crucial. Let's just go ahead and roll. I don't want to waste
Okay.
too much time.
So
Wait,
use
hold on.
nature.
It's security and privacy. Okay, no, yeah. I don't want to take the time to do this.
Okay, we'll figure it out for next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're rolling. what was it, survivalist or scavenger or scout?
Survivalist.
Okay, yeah. So that's 2 plus 5, and then what was the other thing we were going to add? I forget. Did we have
know.
help from Spanj?
Yeah.
Well, we decided not to use. I mean, the advantage of not doing the help is that you'll get a fate point at the end of the thing for using
Well,
your instinct to
Gotcha.
help people.
Sanj can help because he has a similar instinct
Oh, he does.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
because he wants to
So-
he wants to help find stuff for the camp.
Sustenance. Yeah.
It's in a different
Great.
way, but it's similar. It's a similar thing. I'll allow it.
Okay, great. So
Okay,
take
so
a
one
help
help.
die.
So that's 8 against 4. Should we just go with
I
that?
think we've got it.
Yeah. Shall I roll?
Yeah.
Roll it.
Okay, rolling. 6v4.
There you go.
Nice.
There we go.
Great. So you find a good spot, a good hidden spot, in some trees, that also has some visibility around it. So you're not just in a clump of woods where some bears could just come and eat you. Yeah, you've got some concealment from, visibility and also the elements. It's, not bad weather, but it's, but you also have found a small trickle of like a little sort of like a little spring kind of coming out of some rocks in the side of like one of these craggy little hills. And it's
Nice.
it's fresh, clean water.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep, so you can fill up your water containers. And you've got concealment, so that's going to add 1 to the camp events roll.
Nice.
So there's 3 dice. I roll for the camp events roll. It's 3 dice. We're adding 1 for the concealment.
Mm-hmm.
We're adding 1 because there's a ranger.
Nice.
And if someone wants to set watch, they can, but that's going to take you out of being able to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think
'Cause you
we're
can't-
okay for now.
Yeah.
And based on the way we rolled camp, we're relatively safe, right?
Right. Yeah. Nice
Yep.
job.
Yeah, typical camps, there's no bonus or penalty to the roll.
Oh, so
Um,
now I understand mechanically why my initial instinct doesn't make sense.
Mm.
That's why you were resisting it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because we're rolling the safety of the camp. So-
Yeah. Interesting.
So how do I roll the? Oh, I can just do this. Okay.
Can
6
you share your screen when you do this? Because I
D6s.
want to understand this.
He's having trouble sharing screen for some reason. I'm not sure
Oh.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just rolling dice on the little dice roller thing.
Oh,
Dice
Mhm.
roller thing on the side of the roll 20.
okay.
So there's 3d6. So and they all add together, which is 9, and I add 2 to that, so that is 11. And we are in a wilderness camp. So 11, smack dab in the middle, safe camp.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Nothing extra, nothing bad. You're just
Great.
safe.
Sweet.
Amazing. Good work,
So-
Pete.
So
Good
now,
work, Nollsworth. You found us a very fine hideaway.
so now
It's what I
whoever
do.
has a check or checks may spend them to
Okay.
do shit in camp. So let me get to the conditions. Okay. Now how this works is you can give checks to each other. Everyone, you can't make two rolls in a row. You have to take turns.
Mhm.
There's a couple other little variables. I can't remember. Let's see. So now you can spend checks. So during the camp phase, players spend checks they have earned to recover, re-equip, and rethink their wretched lives. Each test or conflict costs 1 check. Okay. You can help each other without spending checks. You can share checks with other people. No player can make 2 tests in a row. And you can't spend checks to explore or fight creatures. Camp instincts, you can spend instincts in camp unless you're exhausted, when then it's just a normal roll. And then any unspent checks are lost at the end of camp.
Mhm.
So the reason that I'm going to allow Skooky to, I mean, he's not in the session, so he's just kind of
Right.
out of it. We'll say that he's still loopy and out of
Right.
it. He's just kind of
Makes
like
sense.
lolling around. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that's basically it. So
I think one thing we were talking about is having somebody use a check to cook for us so that we can all get rid of our hungry and thirsty.
mhm.
I don't know if that's crucial because we do have this water source. So within the rules, can we just drink water and act as if we are fed, or do we need to use somebody as a cook who can do this?
I would say so. I think the water source amenities
But he's a halfling. He's just gotta have.
Well, so is that what you'd like to use your check for, Pete, or do you have something else you want to use your check for?
Yeah.
I mean, my priority as a character is I really want to get everyone's head focused
Mhm.
back as a cohesive unit.
Right.
And that's for me, like, yes, I am the cook and the scavenger and the hoarder and survivalist guy, but like for me that's a given. And now that I've found this camp that works for us, like I really want to make sure everyone's back to their selves.
Nice.
So I don't know what kind of check, what can I spend a check on that would do that?
I
Would
think feeding
preparing
the
a
group.
meal, yeah, would
Yeah, I think
preparing
there's-
a meal sort of,
Yeah.
isn't that how communities are formed? Is by eating meals together?
Yeah. At least gets rid of some of the conditions, and that's what we need, right?
mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So does that actually like take control? Does that take care of the emotional conditions?
How do
No,
we get rid of
it's
angry?
you have to make a roll yourself.
Okay.
Mhm.
Angry is an ob2 will test. So next to the conditions there, those
Oh,
says
okay.
health ob3. Those are the different recovery rolls.
Pete, you could just
Um,
flavor it. Do cooking and flavor it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, do I have to use the resources that we have to cook?
Yes.
You use one ration, but you can make one ration, spread one ration over the whole party when you cook.
Yep.
Whereas
Mhm.
normally one ration would just work for one person. You can make one
And then
ration go for the whole party.
and then how do we reacquire rations? Like, do we do this at camp?
I
Or do
have
we have
to
to go
hunt
to
or
town?
Go to town or go hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or foraging. Sanj can forage. But okay, so you can use preserve rations.
Mm-hmm.
You can use fresh rations.
Mm-hmm.
You can use forage. It's a little bit harder to use because it's kind of just like odds and ends that you collect together. Does anyone have fresh rations?
I do.
Okay, so that starts the obstacle at 1. Then the
Mhm.
amount of meals for a small group, that makes the ob 2.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is roll your cook obstacle
Mhm.
2, and you're using
Okay.
1 ration with with your other cooking supplies. You've got other stuff. You've got herbs and spices and little stuff.
Uh-huh.
And you make food for the entire group. And
Okay.
your cook is 4, and that's no joke.
I
Yeah.
want rice and dal, Pete.
You want what?
Rice and dal.
And this doesn't
Well.
cost you a check. Oh
Mhm.
no, your instinct was something else. This will cost you a check. Sorry. I thought we were
Mhm.
doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So sure, I guess I'll roll it before why do I have an ob 4? Is that just what it
I think it was just there.
Okay. So you said it was 2, right?
Yep. Because you're using fresh rations.
Okay, so am I checking I'm cook 4 and then I'm using fresh rations. Do I add something because of that?
Nope, nope, nope. All this,
Okay.
all that does is just it tells me what
Okay.
what the
Well,
op is. Yeah.
So I'm just 4v2. That's it. I'm rolling.
Yeah.
And do you? I mean, there's other things. There are any other things you that you want? I mean, actually, laborer and alchemist can help if anyone can help.
I don't have that.
I have labor, but unfortunately, right now I cannot
You can't
help
help.
because I am afraid.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm pretty confident in this unless things go real south. Like this is my specialty. So I I get some water and I get some of the grains and the spices that I have and the sort of the main fresh can I just choose what the fresh ration is or is
Yeah.
there mechanics around it?
You think just think about what you'd be carrying in your backpack. What's feasible
Turnips.
to carry into into the wilderness.
Could like a salted chunk of meat
That's
count?
preserved. That would be
Oh,
preserved.
So that would be a preserved ration.
So
So
You're
like
saying
you could have like
turnips.
it could be turnips, yeah, turnips or gourds or squash or fresh. I mean, it could be fresh meat. It could be
Can I
like
give him?
Yeah.
Can I give him my preserved ration too, or no?
it's not going to do anything.
Okay, it
Yeah.
doesn't do.
and it
Okay,
would just
cool.
use more resources. So
Yeah,
Right.
we're trying to make use of few resources.
okay,
All right,
so
let's roll.
I'm gonna say that this fresh ration just color wise is like
Green. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
several different chunks, like a container of like little chunks of um some a bit of squash, a bit of zucchini, like kind of like a little mixed bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
Lovely.
Is that okay? All right, rolling. No, what the hell? That's
Ooh, okay.
impossible.
All right.
That sucks.
Guess what?
What?
You have options.
Okay.
You have. Oh, you don't have need a little salt wise anymore.
No.
Dang it. I
That
was
could
gonna
have helped.
say because that's what you'd use it
Mhm.
for is to fix that. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
That
Guys, I gotta get
sucks.
going soon.
You're exhausted.
Mhm.
You make the food, but you're exhausted. You've been just like working your balls off, your little halfling balls
Uh-oh. Let's
off
not get personal.
the whole time. Proportional, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're working your ass off this whole journey, and like you're really really wanting to get everyone's spirits, and so you just really work really hard. It They were a little bit less ripe than you thought they were, so it just took more time to boil them. You had to flavor them a little bit more, but you make the food, so everyone can eat.
Mhm.
And now when you make meals, it's only to be eaten in camp. This is not
Right.
rations.
Mm-hmm.
Making rations is another thing. Preserving rations
Right.
is another thing.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
so everyone can alleviate hungry and thirsty.
great.
Cool.
So Sanj
Mm-hmm.
and Cadigan,
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys want to do? Just we'll talk about it and then we'll figure out who's going to do what.
Great. Sorry for my dog. I want to spend a check to alleviate the condition of angry.
Yeah, me too. I kind of do it together with, if you don't mind, Sister Cadigan.
Oh, that's great. I like the
I
idea of our like working together. Yeah,
and I
over the
just
meal.
I'm talking to you about what our kerfuffle, and I say, like, sometimes I forget how a human life that has been on this earth for mere few decades is worth something.
That
As
man,
much as that is mine.
that man, I know now why you acted so rashly. You had the voice of sorry. You had the voice of Hathor Vash in your head. I know what she can do. I think we should bring that body out and bury it properly outside the tomb.
Definitely a proper burial would be the right thing. But you mistake me. It wasn't Hathor Vash. It was the darkness that lies within all elves. We are passionate people, and our long lives can also lead to a sense of superiority over others. You heard what I said, the fury of the elves. That was something coming from within.
Mm.
Darkness that we bear, a sense of disdain for you mortals. So I ended his life because he was wrong. Because he was a kidnapper and he had transgressed the laws of decency.
And they say we humans are arrogant with our demanding and boasting ways. We have much to learn from one another, and the way of humility is something that we would both need to learn to walk in better.
Yep. Cool.
Sick.
Nice.
Great. So now you guys can test.
Yeah.
That was great role playing, guys. By the way,
Mm.
I don't mean to like rush through it, but yeah, that was really good.
No, that was nice. So now these are independent will tests. We're not helping one another. We're just each rolling our will. It's a will ob2 to recover from it angry.
From angry, yep.
I'm not gonna bother sharing my screen. It seems like
Now, if anyone has wine, that you can drink it and it adds 1 die to recover from angry or afraid.
Oh, I drank my wine earlier.
do I have wine? Water skin. Elves have wine.
Next time.
Next time. But actually I come from Dwarfold, so it's all fucked up. I got it. Okay, ready? I'm doing it. Ooh!
There we go. Oh, that was
Yeah.
Cadigan.
I didn't make it.
No.
I think it's cool. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
turn into a drow right here.
Wait, what happened? You didn't get it?
No.
Oh, you both
Ellen
did it.
didn't
You
make
both rolled just now. Okay.
Right.
Cadigan made it, I didn't.
Oh, never mind. What are your wises, Elendil?
I have none.
You don't have wises? You have wises.
Where are the wise? Oh, they're down.
follow you the dwarves, and oh yeah, no, that's not gonna help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still angry.
Uh-huh.
And we should also mark off that I spent a check. And I think you need to spend a check if you haven't spent your check, Sanj.
Sorry, spend a check. Yes.
Yeah. So does
And
anybody
Sanj?
have any checks remaining? Because I've spent all my 1 check already. Do you have any checks remaining, Pete?
Did I spend one on that last thing that I did?
On
No,
the
because you
cooking?
had an instinct,
The
so
cooking
No,
cooking
the
you
cooking.
did.
I did spend one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the 1 check I had.
okay.
Yeah.
How do I delete this check? Oh, there we go. I got it.
All right. So
Just real quick, Chuck, mark a pass for your will. Sanj,
done.
mark a fail for your will.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about recovery rolls is that you're advancing your abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm marking a cook fail, right?
That's right.
Yeah. We
But
did
that's okay.
do well
You
in
need-
camp.
You need fails.
Mhm.
With 4 dice, it's harder to fail. So
Mhm.
not so bad.
I think all the
And-
OSR people should notice all this. This is the grind, right?
Mhm.
All
This
right,
is
I have one. We're almost out of time, so I'm just going to rush here a little bit. I do have one instinct that I want to use up if I could. Does anybody have any other camp instincts that they want to use up?
You go for it.
Okay, I need to purify my burden
Mhm.
during camp.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're gonna test theologian with the obstacle equal to your current burden. So when you rest in an uncorrupted place, I'll say that this place is uncorrupted thus far.
Right.
There's no modification. If you're at a shrine or a temple and uncorrupted, you get +1 die, and the opposite you get opposite. So you're gonna roll, and you're gonna lower your burden by the margin of success.
Okay. Now, the obstacle here, I think, is 3 because I think my current burden is 3. When I look under magic, it looks like I have 3 burden.
I think that
So
was it. Yeah. And
yeah,
it kicked your ass that last time.
it did. So I'm clicking on theologian. I am. Oh, I am. Trying to think of what else. Is there anything else that I can use with this high burden here? I guess I have.
You can use traits.
I can use
you
traits.
Yep. I think you'd use touched by the gods once already, but you can use it again because you've
Right.
got, I think you've got 2 uses because it's a
I do.
2. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, they changed it. That's good. 1 die twice per session. They changed it. That's great.
That's good.
Um,
I'm not angry, so I can use beneficial traits. So I'm using a trait for myself. And I cannot tap my nature because I'm all out of persona points. And I can't spend persona because I'm all out of persona points. Do I have any gear or supplies that I could waste on this? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right. All right. So I think that's what we've got is theologian and a trait. And then I've just got to hope that I've gotten better at rolling dice than I was earlier in the session. 'Cause I'm not- usually not very good at rolling dice. All right, here we go.
Ooh.
Damn it. You're cursed.
Oh, yes. Well, it can't get worse, I don't think. It can't get worse from the failure, but there are consequences of failure, is that right?
I don't think there are.
Okay.
That would be brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal when
Yeah.
you're trying to recover from something and there's consequences from failure. Usually you
I think this is unsuccessful purification. Okay, a failed theologian test indicates a twist or condition. Oh, in the event of a condition, the current burden is reduced by 1. Oh, okay. A twist indicates that you have earned the ire of your immortal patron. Your burden
don't like
remains
that.
until you. Oh, yeah. So your burden remains until you're properly. So it's basically like they're pushing on you. They're not happy
Right.
with you. And they're not relieving you. So I'm gonna give you. So you're afraid. I'm just gonna make you exhausted
Okay.
because you're exhausted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This whole thing was very exhausting.
Yeah.
So you mark a fail on theologian, but you do reduce your burden by 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Do I stay at angry and that's it? There's no failure consequence or
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, recovery
that would
test,
be
there's
really-
no consequence of failure.
Yeah, that would be really fucked up.
Hey, you. All
and
right.
then so there's Sanj, did you want to do your forage thing? We could
No,
do it.
Let's
we could
get
do
going.
it next. Yeah.
Let's award Artha.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Mhm.
I got a quick one. I rolled in that camp roll. I rolled survivalist, correct?
Yep, pass.
Now, am I marking that as a pass, or I did something with
Yeah.
nature? So, like,
Pass.
what am I checking off here?
All right, guys, let's just go down through the list.
Hmm.
Acting on your belief. Cadigan.
I am the church. Yeah, I think she tried to stand up for being the church, and insist on that the elf should listen to her. She also insisted on being the church when it came to standing up against the evil voice in her head.
Yeah, absolutely. Fate point for sure.
Right.
Nullsworth. Belief.
Belief. I am my brother's keeper.
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially outside when every time you're negotiating and trying to calm everyone down. Definitely.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
And maybe a persona, because you kind of got us to camp. But
Well,
we
there's
still all have our conditions. That's the problem.
persona is more for the embodiment and MVP kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
That's what it takes to taking it to the next step. Elendil. Belief.
Songs will be sung of my deeds. I don't think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think you were kind of like,
Suffering.
yep, eating your hat for this one.
Yeah.
But I will say I did love the line about how now that I wasn't a jerk because of the voice in my head. I was a jerk because I'm an elf. That was
Yeah,
that was
that
a
was
great
good.
moment.
That was really good. Yeah. Okay, so working towards your goal. Cadigan.
I think Cadigan worked toward her goal of making Elendil do penance. I don't know if she succeeded at it, because I don't know. I mean, it's up
And
to you
it
guys. I'm
must
not
be
sure.
something specific, I'm sure.
Yeah, so my thought was that by burying that body, we might do penance, but we've
Cool.
sort
Well,
of
because he was very contrite and he was
he was contrite.
very
Yeah,
vulnerable and like and
yeah,
open and like and self-castigating.
yeah,
Would Cadigan consider that penance enough?
yeah. I think so.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. Take a fate point for that, Chuck.
All right.
Working towards your goal / accomplishing it, Nullsworth.
I will get everyone's head back in the game and regroup the party. That was my
I
goal.
think you accomplished that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fate.
No, it's a
Yeah.
persona.
No,
That's a
persona.
persona. Okay.
Elendil.
I will get it together and rescue the child from the knave's greed. I did not get that.
You made a good pitch for doing it, though.
Yeah.
So I think you definitely worked on it. I would take a fate point at least.
And you got your you got your head together, and that was like a part of the goal. So yeah, I'd say fate.
Mm-hmm. I'm still angry though.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I think you really took a little
Okay.
spiritual, like a emotional journey here, and you kind of put yourself back together.
Cool.
Partially.
Yeah.
Gallows humor. Did anyone rock one this time?
No, I never got around to it.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think again, I loved Sanja's line about no, I was a jerk because I'm an elf. It feels like
Yeah,
gallows humor
well,
to me.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny.
It wasn't really morbid, but it was
I was
funny.
trying to be deep.
All right, yeah, fair enough.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I didn't mean to diminish it. I thought it was brilliant.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you
Mm.
love the role playing.
Yeah.
Get that.
All right. So playing against your belief, I don't think anybody did, because I think we all earned for beliefs here.
Mhm.
Accomplishing goal, crisis, MVP, teamwork, and embodiment. Well, we've got 3. So do we want to do 2 rewards out of 3?
Maybe 2, yeah.
What is
yes.
MVP?
MVP, teamworker, and embodiment. And we can mix and match any of those amongst the group.
Team worker, definitely, I feel, for Nullsworth.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it ties into his character, his beliefs anyways. And talking to everybody and trying to be rational. Do you agree, Eric?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yes,
So
That's
Pete, yeah, for that.
that's a persona point.
that's a persona. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And then there's MVP or embodiment left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so yeah. Then let's give embodiment to Elendil for the excellent role play.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, it's a good one to get.
Yeah. Yeah. You role played in a role playing game. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
No, but you really did, even though I'm being silly about it. But
Yeah. I haven't
Yeah,
brought
and
ears to the party.
and you guys all really are.
Yeah.
You're really like playing your characters, you know. And I think, you know, and there's role playing where like, okay, the GM says, okay, what do you do? And then the player gets into their character and says what they're going to do. But you guys are
Yeah.
doing role playing where you're playing together, where you're conversing and where you're talking to each other in character and bringing things out of each other.
I
And
love
that's where it's really at. Like, you know, you've all had really great interactions together. And I think you've been making a point to do it, which is great too.
Mhm.
Yeah. And making
Thank you.
you know, you guys recovering from angry, you know, Elendil wanted to do it together with Cadigan, which was
Yeah,
really cool,
that
which
was
was an
great.
opportunity to
Yeah.
so that was very cool.
Yeah, made that come
And-
alive. It was great.
Mhm.
And when Nullsworth was, you know, taking them each aside, you know, and was like, okay, are you
That's right.
here with me? You know, like
Yeah.
that was really cool.
That was great.
That was good
That was
stuff.
really good. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved trying to like this whole week I've been thinking about the elf and the long life and why did I just like X that like why did I just kill this dude, you know? And I found that this reasoning is very interesting. And then the tie into Burning Wheel Elves and Spite and how it's like kind of simmers underneath us, like this angry, this passion, right?
Yes,
So I really enjoy it. It was really
that
cool.
was great.